Hello and welcome to ET Garage. Today we're in Fort Kent, Maine, where US 1 begins. Hello, I'm Eugene Tordo, and this is ET Garage. And like I was saying, this is where US Route 1 begins in Fort Kent, Maine. And right there is the Border Patrol and the bridge crossing into Canada. And over here's the monument. And let's take a walk over there and take a look at it. America's first mile, US Route 1. That was the first US highway ever built, at least to my knowledge. And here we are. Historic marker, Fort Kent, Maine. The site marks the beginning of US Route 1, which ends in Key West, Florida. 2,446 original miles. US Route 1 is the easternmost route of Maine, north-south United States highway system. There you go. We're up here right now, and hopefully this winter I'll be down there in Key West, Florida, if everything goes right. And there's some more information here. Historic marker, Fort Kent, Maine, America's first mile. This site denotes the first mile of US Route 1, designated on November 11, 1926. The first mile extends from Fort Kent, Maine, Clare, New Brunswick international border to the Dubé House, built in 1840, one of the oldest homes still standing in Fort Kent. Traveling south on Route 1 will continue your scenic journey through the St. John Valley, Aroostook County, and on to the coastal regions of Maine and beyond. Historic US Route 1 offers breathtaking views and a variety of cultures and experiences. And here shortly I will hop in the Corvette, and I drove that up from where I live in Pennsylvania. I'd say it was about 13 and a half hour drive with stops. Once we get done here, we'll head over to the actual fort, a little fort over here in Fort Kent, Maine. I've been there before, and that was back in 1979 or 1980. I was stationed at Loring Air Force Base. So let's go up here and we'll take a look at the river here and the border crossing. And there it is. There's the river. I forgot the name of the river, but I'll post it up here. And shallow enough you could probably walk across it if you wanted to in some spots, at least right here. And there's the bridge going over to Canada. Of course, the U.S. Customs and Border Protection, Fort Kent Port of Entry. Make sure you have your passport if you go over into Canada, or you'll be stuck there. So great little restaurant over there to eat if you're ever up this way, right across the street. Rock's Family Diner it's called. And there's a gas station right over there, which is good because I need to get gas. So I guess let's head over to the fort and we'll take a look at that. Okay, here we are at Fort Kent, the actual fort that was built back in, I don't know when, I'll go over that here in a minute. But it was not too long after the Revolutionary War. There was a border dispute up here. And I'll get into that more here in a second. But there's the fort, that little blockhouse. That's basically the fort. Last time I was here is back in 1979, I believe it was, or 80. And this wall wasn't here. And that building back there was whole trees. And all that stuff. They added that when they had a flood in 2008. And they pretty much caused a lot of damage to the whole town, and then they built a levee system. But the funny thing is the little welcome sign and the entrance fees, and you just honorary system, so you know, you just put it inside there and you're good to go. I'll go over here and we'll talk about the history. I'm just going to talk about the first part. But basically there was a border dispute in around 1832. Okay, let's go here. The Aroostook War was an undeclared bloodless war. that occurred in 1839. The peace treaty that ended the American Revolution in 17 had not satisfactorily determined the boundary between New Brunswick and what is now Maine. Boundary dispute worsened after Maine gained statehood in 1820. And then it goes on where they ended up sending authorized force of 50,000 men. Maine sent 10,000 troops. It was appropriated $10 million. And they ended up a compromise was reached between Daniel Webster, who I believe he's the guy who did the Webster Dictionary, believe it or not, first Ashburn, Alexander Bering. And they settled that dispute, and everything was good. And now where you see the border of Maine and New Brunswick and Quebec and all that is where they agreed upon way back then. And if we go over here to the blockhouse, Fort Kent Blockhouse. Fort Kent Blockhouse is the only surviving American fortification associated with the Aroostook War of 1838 to 1839. And the fort was built and occupied by civilian posses of the state of Maine until its command was given to U.S. Army Captain Lucien Bonaparte Webster in September 1841. At that time, the fort consisted of blockhouse officers' quarters, a hospital, and log huts for the laundress of the company. And then the fort was abandoned. It was military post by the U.S. government in 1843 after the signing of the bilateral Webster-Ashburn Treaty, which finally settled the boundary dispute, ending the bloodless war, the blockhouse having never seen battle. The blockhouse, and this is what I think is funny, became Mary Page's home for 33 years after she paid $250 to the state of Maine to purchase it. And then in 1891, it was sold to the state of Maine under the understanding that it would be protected as a historic site, which is pretty good. And here it is. The door's locked and you can't get in. And I remember when I was here last time, I was able to get in. It's supposed to open at 9 a.m. according to the Google. But I don't see anybody here opening it. There's a passport station. If anyone wants to leave their passport, I guess. And can't really see good inside, I'm afraid. Of course, the door's locked. Yeah, I doubt you could see in there, but it's basically what you would expect in a small fort like this. And let's see. Treaty of Washington. There's I guess a post here. Albert Smith U.S. Company must have made it. It's an iron post. And that's about all I know about that post. But there is a trading post over there. I don't think it's open. I'm going to take a walk over there and hopefully it's open. I remember when I was back here, like I said, at 79, 80, I actually went down. There's a river here that joins up with the St. John, and I'll see if I can get a better look at that. I actually did some trout fishing there. It was pretty good trout fishing. I think I was 19 years old back then. Yeah, 79, I would have been 19 years old. I was stationed at Loring Air Force Base, which is about an hour south of here. If you take the direct route, I'm not going to take the direct route. I'm going to go down along US 1. It's more scenic. And then head over there to Loring Air Force Base. Yeah, there's that river right there. This hooks up to the St. John. Go that way. And that's St. John is basically the border between Maine and Canada. Trading posts, tourist information. Yeah, it doesn't look like there's anyone there. Something tells me they're only open on weekends. And I have to be somewhere this weekend, so I can't be here at the same times. Yeah, it's definitely not open, unfortunately. Sorry, we're closed. Trading posts and tourist information. Oh, they got a weather prediction apparatus. If rock sways beyond tripod, it is windy. If rock is wet, it is raining. If rock is white, it is snowing. If rock is difficult to see, it is foggy. So there it is, the weather prediction apparatus. Apparently it's got the delayed action to it. In other words, when you see what the weather is, it's too late. Anyway, I'm going to end the video here, and then I'm going to head down to Loring Air Force Base, Maine, and make another video. So everybody have a great day, and God bless.